Now I request Professor Head Department of Biotechnology, Professor Ramesh Gowar to welcome the delegates and present.
We are here for the inaugural program of the e-learning lab, just established at our Department of Biotechnology, also known as the Institute of Agri-Biotechnology at University of Agricultural Sciences, Dharwad, under the support of AdaptNET. And first of all, it's my pleasure to welcome Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. M.V. Chetty, as well as my teacher and lecturer for this inaugural program. On behalf of the department, as well as on my own behalf, I heartily welcome Dr. M.V. Chetty for this inaugural.
I also welcome Dr. Andreas Velodikas, who is the coordinator of AdaptNET from Agricultural University Athens, Greece. I think he's there on the line. Dr. Andreas?
I'm here.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
And I welcome for this inaugural program. And I also welcome Dr. Bidyu Sharma, Director DBT, Assam Agricultural University, for this inaugural program. Dr. Bidyu?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I am hearing.
Yeah.
It is something, somewhat, it is echoing, you know, your
that we are
voice
managing.
Yes.
But not
yes.
Okay, sir, welcome again for this inaugural program of the e-learning lab. Welcome to you, sir.
Thank you. I'm pretty happy.
Okay, thank you, sir. I also welcome Dr. S.B. Hosmani, who is our Director of Education to this program. Welcome you, sir. I also welcome Dr. P.L. Patil, sir, who is our Director of Research to this inaugural program. And I welcome Dr. I.S. Katagiri, who is the Principal Investigator and Coordinator of this AdaptNET program at UAS Dharwad. Welcome you, sir. And also I welcome all the invitees and the participants who have joined this online meeting or online program of inaugural function. And welcome to you all. Okay, if they'll join. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Now I request Professor I.S. Katagiri to give an overview of the AdaptNET project.
He is not audible, Ramesh.
Okay, he is not audible.
He is not audible.
Okay, I'll just one minute.
I think it's okay, fine. Okay now?
Now it's fine, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact, in 2017, Dr. Vidyut Sharmaji has called me one fine day and he asked me, are you interested in participating? This is one of the interesting projects. I said, why not? I will certainly take part in that. And then probably all the 8 institutes together, we wrote the project for nearly 1 month, sir. And after 1 month, we submitted, and the result we received only after 1 year. So there was a thorough, very strict. Oh. Because of the very stringent, thorough screening of the project, finally, the project was realized after 1 year, and all of us were very jubilant. We got it finally approved in 2018, 2018, and then actually the project started in 2019 after a first kickoff meet in Greece itself in 2019 March. So as far as the very first, there are mainly 3 important objectives. Number 1 is human resource development, wherein 10 teachers of faculty of UAS Dharwad are selected for undergoing a training in European institutes, and then like 3 students, PhD students are also selected for training. First part, all the 10 teachers were well trained in 4 different institutes, including ICSAT in India. And the second very important objective scheduled for us is the development of e-lab, and that e-lab is now ready for inauguration. That's what all of us are here. Now it is set to go for making use of this lab for both faculty as well as the students. And now only one thing that is what has to be achieved is 3 students who are selected are supposed to go for training. Because of this COVID-19, they are really not able to go, but expected to be scheduled in next February or so. So this almost say like 75% of the whatever programs started out, it is completed. The sustenance of this particular project is very important, because a lot of training, whatever teachers have got in European institutes, they are supposed to design a new course. That is one important issue. But since UAS Dharwad is already having a wonderful courses related to climate smart agriculture, when we discuss with the university authority, probably at this stage, let us go for improving the presently ongoing courses. So there is 1 UG course and 2 PG courses. All the 10 teachers have already prepared the different lectures based on their training, and they are going to take these courses, handle these courses. Of course, in future, they are planning for developing a altogether new course based on their experiences with ongoing courses. So at this stage, this is the progress. Once again, I welcome Honorable Vice Chancellor, all our key officers of the university, and my partners of all the institute, Dr. Andreas, Dr. Vidya Sharmaji, and I think Rajivji is here. I hope all of them are here. Once again, I welcome on behalf of university and for joining. Thank you very much for this.
Am I audible to all? Andreas, am I audible? Dr. Andreas?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Is it audible?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for asking me to inaugurate this e-lab. the participants of today's program, Dr. Andreas Volodakis, and my good friend, Dr. Bidut Sarmaji, Dr. Kadgeri, and other European partners, Wells Carlo, Dr. Roberto Papa, Dr. John, and Indian partners, I mentioned Dr. Bidut, Dr. Debin Barua, Dr. Rajiv Varshini, and the head of the Department of Biotechnology, Dr. Ramesh Bhatt, my colleagues, Dr. P.L. Patil, Dr. Osmani, and all the staff of IABT at UAS Dharwad, and also those scientists who underwent this training in Europe, and they are on screen. Good evening, everyone of you once again. I'm really glad that AdaptNET has funded massively to University of Agricultural Sciences Dharwad for establishing this e-lab, as well as imparting training to our young faculty who underwent training for almost, I think, for 4 weeks, in different countries in Europe. In fact, I would say that our faculty was fortunate enough. They just returned back before the lockdown was imposed. Otherwise, they would have been stuck for months together, either in Europe or some other, maybe in the transition. But this facility, which European Union has funded, it's really wonderful, particularly in the present day context of climate change. Every one of us are experiencing the climate change. Probably it is argued by some of the foresters, some of the environmentalists, that COVID-19 outbreak, the pandemic which every one of us are experiencing, is also an impact of the climate change. That I think we should agree for all these things, and it is necessary to conduct research related to climate change, particularly with the agriculture universities. And we have certain facilities as far as conducting climate change research at the university is concerned. But the university is also committed for big data analysis, because we have joined hands with the Indian Institute of Technology in Dharwad, IRI New Delhi, and 2 more IITs and 4 Paradigm Institute of CSIR located in Bangalore. And probably the facility which has been created under AdaptNET at this department and in this university certainly would be useful in analyzing agriculture and biological data, and more so in full-fledged handling with the thorough genomic and proteomic data of crops, and also for the audiovisual smart learning platform between India and European institutions, research organizations, which is the main objective of this project and main objective of this e-lab. As I mentioned, that our scientists underwent training, and certainly their training in advanced labs in Europe certainly would benefit our students at large, because we have large number of students on the campus, nearly about 3,800 students, both undergraduate as well as postgraduate students stay on the campus in Dharwad and also in other constituent colleges. We have 3 more constituent colleges located in the northern part of Karnataka. Certainly this climate change research, every one of us, because we were, when the climate change research started, starting in India, it started with IRI New Delhi. I know that we started the work on open top chambers, and that was the first of its kind in our country. We started, modifying the atmospheric carbon dioxide concentration and also temperature, and studying the response of plants, particularly. Originally, the work was done with respect to chickpea, wheat, and mustard. But now, the climate change, because if you compare the climatic conditions in the North India and South India, there is a lot of variation in the climatic conditions both in the North and in the South. I think all of you agree that the extreme climates exist in the North, but that is not the situation with the southern part of this country. Even we need facilities for studying the recent climate changes which are happening. And particularly, I would say that in this part of the country, particularly in this part of Karnataka, last 2 years we have been experiencing floods. Normally the rainfall in Dharwad is around 650 to 700 millimeter, and last year we received about 1,500 millimeter rain, and this year also we are expected to receive nearly about 1,500 millimeter rain. As a result of flooding, lot of the losses the farmers incurred. And why these floods and why these droughts are occurring? Because we cannot predict the floods and droughts like we used to predict earlier, because now we have the satellites exclusively for studying the climate change, and we have the facilities for the fast resolution of the satellite data, and we can predict in a better way compared to earlier days. And IMD also has come out with a lot of facilities, and we have established a center in the university campus, the India Meteorology Department, and which is going to help in forecasting of the weather for the farmers. And this certainly will help in taking out certain experiments to cope with the climate change which we are experiencing these days. I'm sure that the facilities which are created under this AdaptNET will certainly help the students and also faculty, not only in UAS Dharwad, but also in other universities and also our European partners across across the country. And we have Indian partners also from Assam. I happened to visit the lab of Samra Bidyut Kumar, and he is a he's a prestigious national professor of Indian Council of Agriculture Research. I think still he continues to be a national professor, and also is the director of the lab. I was really glad when we visited his lab a couple of times when I was in the ICR. Then I had an occasion to visit Assam number of times, and then every time I visited Assam Agriculture University, Jorhat, I never missed meeting Dr. Bidyut Kumar. I'm really glad to see you, Dr. Bidyut, again. We were expecting you. We thought that you will come to Dharwad, but we do not know when we can call our European partners and also other Indian partners to our university. I welcome all of you to this university. I was told by Dr. Katgiri that you are going to have a summit sometime in 2021 at Goa. Goa is a wonderful place that every one of you know. Maybe if time permits, I will also join at least for a day to be with you in Goa during your summit in 2021. With these few introductory remarks, and I'm really glad that we have inaugurated the lab, but unfortunately we don't have the students on campus. It is expected that the students will be back on the campus on 1st of November, because that is the indication. We have to wait for the government directives, both the government of India as well as government of Karnataka, and probably on from 1st November we may reopen the schools and colleges and also universities. And certainly this wonderful facility which has been created with the initiation of Dr. Katgiri and also Dr. Ramesh Bhatt and other staff of the IABT will serve a great deal, particularly in carrying out climate change research in this part of the state and also in this part of the country. I once again thank all the European partners for generous funding and also showing a lot of interest in UAS Dharwad, and also the Indian partners for joining us. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your nice explanation about the need of climate change research and its importance in education. Now I request Professor Bidyut Kumar Sarmaji to address.
Very good afternoon, all of you. The Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Chetty, and of course, good friend of mine. I'm very happy to be with you all this afternoon. And thank you for mentioning about our lab, sir. Dr. Andreas, again, very good friend of mine, and our European coordinator for the AdaptNET program, and Dr. Katagiri, coordinator from PI from UAS Dharwad for the AdaptNET project, and Dr. Ramesh Bhatt. I know him very well because we were together in Australia for quite some time. So for maybe last 20 years, I know him. So I'm very happy seeing you progressing, Ramesh. And of course, others I have not met very personally. Director of Research is there, I think, and then other members who are present today. So very good afternoon once again. And I'm very happy that this is the third e-labs under the AdaptNET program today that has been inaugurated. First, we inaugurated at Assam Agricultural University under the AdaptNET program, one e-lab. Then the next one we opened in Tezpur University, another partner, India partner. And the third one is at UAS Dharwad. Yes, Dr. Katagiri very rightly said that in 2017, I just made a phone call because Dr. Andreas, because this project was actually originated when I visited Dr. Andreas' lab as a visiting, scientist in 2015. Then only we thought of, we should have a collaborative program and to be funded by the European Union. So that's how that has been originated. And then in 2017, we started writing, and Dr. Andreas asked me to, incorporate some potential Indian partners. And as I knew Dr. Katagiri through our chickpea program, because, he came to our university in 2012 for our, chickpea collaborations, because, many of you perhaps know that my BT chickpea lines are being tested in in UAS Dharwad by Dr. Katagiri. So that's how I knew him, and he is very active, that's why I immediately contacted him, and then other partners like Dr. Deven Borua from Tezpur University also, I knew him for quite long, so I contacted him. So this is how it started. Rajiv, of course, he is very well known in the country as well as outside the country. So that way, we formed a group in India, and from European side, Dr. Andreas is coordinating. Apart from that, there are three other organizations from Europe, University of Milano, and then one from Mache, and then another one from Athens, that is Athens Academy. So under this AdaptNET program, as very rightly, Dr. Katagiri and others have mentioned that, we are talking about climate resilient agriculture, especially what is to be, what sort of steps we should take for, India. And then I'm thankful to all European partners because they are helping us. They are guiding our students, they are training our students as well as the faculties so that, they are aware of what is, what sort of changes because of, climate change, what sort of, changes in agricultural sector can occur and how to mitigate those, problems. So as Dr. Katagiri has rightly mentioned that, we sent 29 student faculties from India, from different institutions, partner institutions to Europe. So they were trained for a month and now they are back, and then they are preparing a course. That is what we are going to, start from this semester. In Assam Agricultural University already, we have started our master degree program in an online mode. Of course, students are not here, but in an online mode, we have already started. And a few days back, I had an opportunity to interact with DGIs here, and I mentioned about this program as well as about this sort of course that, in 3 different universities, we are going to start this sort of, online courses on climate resilient agriculture. And he seemed to be very happy with this development, and then he suggested that this sort of course initially we should put in online university website, then we can put in other government online portals like SIAM or NPTEL, etc. So this is what is planning at this moment, and then of course planning is important as well as execution is also important. So through the opening of this e-lab, definitely this is a first step of executing our objectives or plans. So I'm very happy today that e-lab has been inaugurated here, and then once again and of course the students are in a pipeline for undergoing the training. I think 3 students were selected from UAS Dharwad, but there may be some sort of changes now. That is what in our last meeting we talked about. Dr. Katagiri mentioned that those who were selected, they have already, I think, completed or they are in the verge of completing their PhDs. So in that case, definitely that has to be re-advertised, of course. And then maybe for 3 students, if necessary, we can re-advertise it, and I can leave it to Dr. Katagiri or to UAS Dharwad, how best they can re-advertise it and how best they can select the good students for training, undergoing training. So with these few words, once again, I congratulate Dr. Katagiri and the whole team and the Ramesh, and also thank you very much, sir, Dr. Chetty. We'll be in touch, of course, and I hope, yes, I hope our collaborations definitely, will move forward, and our chickpea lines will also finally come to the field through public sector now. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Sharma ji. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, Professor Sharma.
Okay.
So we have come to the end of this inauguration program. Now I take this opportunity to extend.
I think Andreas should speak something, Yeah. Andreas is there. So
Now I request Professor. Yeah, Professor.
Andreas, follow the case.
Hello? Do you hear me?
Yes, but no, some other, you are playing some music, or who is playing music? Some music.
Background music is going on.
Yeah, now. You should unmute.
Or they can't say.
Unmute yourself. Yes, yes. It's okay now.
Okay, so I'm going to say a few things. First of all, a very big thank you to the Vice Chancellor and the various directors of research, education of UASD for completing this part of the e-lab. I would like to also thank Professor Katagiri, who is a key factor of accomplishing this milestone. So this is one of the pillars of the AdaptNET project, the creation, establishment, and implementation of the e-labs in 3 universities, partners of AdaptNET. So now this e-lab story is complete, and I'm really happy to see that we are moving on as expected. I would like to point out one thing about Professor Katagiri, and this is his motivation. So I'm really happy to see Professor Katagiri partner in this consortium, because I would like to remind everyone what happened during the kickoff meeting. Professor Katagiri was not able to come in the beginning, but he was able, after a very big and hard job, to get a new passport in few days and come and join the kickoff meeting of AdaptNET at the last day. So this proves to me that Professor Katagiri is highly motivated. Okay, so this is one indication. But then the next day after the meeting, we had a very, very nice and long talk by the Greek Sea in a coffee shop, talking about research with cotton, etc. So I really feel that I am within a small Indian family. So I'm really happy to see Professor Katagiri leading this effort from UASD, of course, with the collaboration of his young staff, these 10 students, students that came to European Union under the workshops that AdaptNET has organized. And now they're back to UASD, trying to develop the new curricula, the new courses, or update existing courses in climate smart agriculture. I'm not going to say anything more. We definitely have the last pillar of AdaptNET to accomplish, and this is the mobilities of 16 students from the 4 partners, Indian partners of AdaptNET, to come to Europe when COVID-19 permits us to do that. This is a difficult task, and we cannot foresee when this will happen, but more or less we anticipate these mobilities to start in February, March in 2021. Now, regarding the e-labs, we have also developed some forms. The people that are going to be using the e-labs, they need to fill the forms. These forms are, actually it's a single form. It's a very simple online form. And you know, European Union would like to have a tangible measuring of events, of activities, etc. So filling out the form from whoever uses the e-lab is very, very important for the consortium and giving a good face to the funding agency. So please, Professor Katagieri will coordinate this and assist if needed for people to fill out the forms. It's, as I said, it's a very, very simple form. It's an online form, so this is not very difficult to do. It might take 2 or 3 minutes to complete. Other than that, I again would like to express my sincere thanks to all the contributing factors, which most of them I do not know personally. Of course, the administration of UASD for doing all the efforts needed for the project from the part of UASD are also thanked. And with that, I will stop my little speech.
Thank you, Professor Andreas. And we are sure that we will use this e-lab at US Dharwad, educating the students and also the farmers. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Okay. So we have come to a formal end of the inauguration of e-lab at US Dharwad. And now I take this opportunity to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor of US Dharwad, Professor M.B. Chetty sir, for inaugurating the e-lab and gracing the function, and also for his inaugural speech, and also extending all the support from the university for the success of this AdaptNET project, and also for the establishment of e-lab. I thank Honorable Vice Chancellor.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, I would like to thank Professor Andreas Oludakis, the European coordinator, and he is the main person of this project to coordinate European as well as Indian partners. Very, very thanks for the Dr. Andreas Oludakis. Thank you, sir. And I also would like to thank Director of Education, Professor S.B. Hosmani, sir, Director of Research, Dr. P.L. Patil, sir, and Dean Agri, Professor B.D. Biradar, sir, Dean PTS, Sridevi Madam, and also Professor Ramesh Babu, the Director of Extension. They have joined, they are not in this lab, but they are joined online. For all of them, I would like to thank for extending their help, for helping this, for the smooth functioning of this project at US Dharwad. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank Professor and Head Dr. Ramesh Bhatt, sir, for welcoming all the dignitaries and guests. Thank you very much, sir. And I would like to thank PI of the project at US Dharwad, Professor I.S. Katagiri, sir, for initiating this project at US Dharwad and helping to train the 10 faculty members of the US Dharwad. Thank you, sir. Similarly, I would like to thank Director of Northeastern Biotechnology Center, Professor Biddu Sarmaji, He is the Indian coordinator. He is coordinating all the three centers in India. And he played a very important role in the selection of faculty and students. Thank you very much, sir. I also would like to thank the European partners. Professor Carlo Cosi could not attend the meeting, but he sent us the wishes. And similarly, Professor Roberto Papa, Professor Christos Gerefos, and Professor Raju Varshni from ICRISAT, and he conducted a very well organized workshop for us. And Professor Barua from Teju, and John Kapsamaniakis for their help in conducting the workshops. Thank you very much, sir, and also attending this eLab inauguration function. And I would like to thank Professor Moger, Dr. Hosmani, Dr. Spurti. They are not attending in physically. And all the my fellow trainees, we are 10 people, 10 teachers. I would like to thank them also for attending the inauguration functions. Similarly, some students are also attending. I would like to thank them also. And for this function, teaching and non-teaching staff of the department, they helped a lot to arrange this function. Finally,
thank and acknowledge
thank and acknowledge the funding from the
Okay, it's over, right? Dr. Katagiri?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So, bye-bye.
He's
Andreas, bye-bye.
Congratulations once again, Professor Category, and bye-bye to everybody. Have a nice day.
Hello, Rajit. Bye-bye.
Hello, sir. How are you? Good,
Yeah.
good.
Good. Okay,
Congratulations.
Ramesh. Bye-bye.
Bye, Andreas.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Congratulations to
Hey, Deven, how are you? I think all the folks from university, they have disappeared now as soon as Honorable Vice Chancellor went.
No, sir, here only. How are you, sir?
I think they have gone to, see him off. Anyway, bye-bye.
Okay, yeah, that's correct.
Bye,
Yeah.
bye, bye. So nice to meet you.
Elias, bye-bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye, bye, bye.
Okay, sir. Thanks for joining.